Hey everybody, how's it going? So today's episode is based on a viewer question from a guy named Anthony Stark.
Hi Glenn, I have an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2 and an Epiphone Explorer. I recently bought an LTD that plays so much better. I'm wondering if it would be worth building the older guitars to try to make them play better and sound better rather than waiting and buying a new one to replace it.
Well, that's the age-old question, isn't it? Should I take a cheaper guitar and upgrade it, or should I just buy something outright? I've definitely got some higher-end guitars and I've got some lower-end guitars, so I thought it might be really cool to take a cheaper 7-string that I've had for a while and upgrade it into something awesome. Let's check it out. Okay, so I've had this 7-string Legator for about a year now. It retailed for about $350. And I thought, okay, let's see what happens if I can upgrade this. I've got some really amazing 7-strings, but for $350, this guitar was very, very good for the money. So when it came to upgrading, I thought there's two things I care about the most. There's tone and then there's tuning. In a recording studio, you absolutely have to have rock solid tuning. No decent tuning, you basically got to throw your tracks away. I remember a few years ago, I had a 1966 Gibson SG come in. Sounded amazing, could not stay in tune with itself. I remember having to throw an entire album's worth of guitar tracks out the window and replacing them with a Spectre guitar instead that stayed in tune. So tuning is very, very important. And so to make the tuning a little bit better on this guitar, I went with the GRAPHTECH ratio tuners. What these are compensated tunings. They have different gearing depending on the string because strings vary in thickness. They're lock tuners, and I gotta say, they're pretty freaking sweet. Now, what I've got here is called a GRAPHTECH tusk nut. It's basically synthetic ivory, but it's been impregnated with Teflon to make it slipperier. I'm not sure what your experience is with tuning, but one of the biggest problems I have with a lot of guitars is the nut, especially on a lot of Gibsons. The G string will get caught and it just makes tuning an absolute fucking nightmare. I gotta say, since changing these out, tuning this guitar is an absolute breeze and it's rock solid. I mean, like, this thing stays in tune amazing. The action was already pretty good and I was already pretty decent with the tuning, but this just takes it to a whole new level. The tuning is definitely in the awesome category now. Hats off to GRAPHTECH. They've got some really amazing stuff. Now, the second thing I wanted to improve on this guitar was the tone. And to improve that, I've decided to go with the FISHMAN FLUENCE pickups. I've had a very long conversation with my good friend Fluff and a few other people. You can check us out here at a meetup in LA the other week. And everybody's just going crazy about these FISHMAN FLUENCE pickups. I figured, let's check them out. They're supposed to be dead quiet and they're supposed to be much clearer from string to string to string and give you a much more even output. A lot of these mods were a little bit trickier than normal, especially changing out the nut. I definitely don't have the skills to do that. So I brought my guitar to a professional. I took it to my good friend Jay Swatman over at LaSalle Music in LaSalle, Ontario, and he did the nut swap, the tuner swap, and the pickup install. He had to do a little bit of routing because this guitar was originally designed to fit DiMarzio style pickups.
Hey,
okay, yeah. Here we go. You can see he's actually doing a routing job on this thing. This is definitely beyond my skills to do this. Anyway, he's just throwing the GRAPHTECH tuners on right now. And these are square and wouldn't quite fit. So hats off to Jay for doing an amazing job with the routing and the wiring and everything. And just to make things interesting, what I've done here was I recorded a track with the original pickups and I've recorded a new track with the FISHMAN. So I've got a nice little A-B comparison. Let's check that out right now. Now, I am definitely not the world's most technical guitar player. I'm far from it. So just to round out this little review, I've also brought in my good friend Christopher Finsky to play us some clean stuff. And a lead. So yeah, after having the guitar upgraded and been playing it for a few days, I gotta say, I really like this. This guitar has gone from pretty good to downright awesome. Like I said, I love the rock solid tuning stability. The GRAPHTECH tuners are just unreal. The nut makes life so much simpler. The string's not getting bound up and it just stays in tune great. But the big one for me has got to be the FISHMAN FLUENCE pickups. This guitar has gone from sounding pretty good to holy crap. If you guys notice in the A-B comparisons, especially when the guitars are soloed up and whatnot, it's just, they're clearer, there's more top end, it's just more bite and far more aggressive for metal tones. I mean, this thing is just a monster. I got to start looking at maybe putting some FISHMAN in some of my other guitars. I am that impressed. If you guys want to check out the FISHMAN FLUENCE pickups, I've got links for Guitar Center and Thomann in the description below, as well as the GRAPHTECH tuners and the nut. But should you upgrade a cheap guitar? Well, that really depends on you. I mean, I was pretty happy with this guitar to begin with, but I've taken it from pretty good to freaking amazing. I'm thrilled with this guitar right now. And in the long run, it was probably a lot cheaper than dropping, $2,000 on something awesome. So it really depends on how attached you are to the guitar you have right now. I would definitely recommend checking out the FISHMAN FLUENCE. Anyway, that is a very good place to start. Take it easy, guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. If you like the content, please support the channel either at my SMG shop or through my Patreon. If you want to see more, hit one of the playlists. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.